Hey everyone, it's Justin, and thank you so much for being here today. Today I'm going to talk about what my personal opinion is of General Assembly's UX Design Immersive. So let me lay down the facts. It was $14,500. It took 3 months, and basically it is a course that consists of 4 to 5 personal projects. What you walk away with is a portfolio that showcases 3 projects that you worked on during the course, including one project where you worked with a client in the real business world and where you're solving real problems for that client. It definitely comes at a steep price, but the impact it has had on my life has been significant. So without further ado, I'm going to jump into the pros and cons of the General Assembly UX Design Immersive. Before I jump into that, I'd really appreciate it if you could just gently nudge the like button for me. So here are some of the greatest value propositions. Number 1, it's super focused and structured. I know plenty of people who have transitioned into UX design on their own accord. However, for someone like me who is really starting from scratch, I really benefited from a structured environment where you had to be in class from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. and all of the class material was very intentionally and thoughtfully put together for me to consume. Number 2, there's huge accountability for your work. You have to finish your work by a certain time, you have to present that work, and you have to work with other teammates as well. So all of this accountability forces you to learn and produce at a much faster, more compact rate than if I were just learning UX design on my own. The third point is that there were a lot of resources for me to feed off on. For example, great instructors and instructor assistants, they were basically TAs, and also career coaches, as well as the other students in the class. So you weren't doing this alone. There was a huge community of support for you, and the most important were the instructors because they were really invested in you learning this material, and they also brought in real-world experience from their own careers to help you. They were really available for one-on-ones and would always give you feedback immediately, which is something that's harder to do if you're learning on your own. The fourth point is that it was really short relative to going to do a master's program, which can take a year. My course was completed in 3 months and I could do it remotely. Now, these courses are never guaranteed for you to get a job afterwards, but I do feel that General Assembly invests a lot of resources in helping you transition because they provide you with career coaches who are very much available during and after the course finishes. They give you career advice, they help you with your resume, they help you with your personal branding, LinkedIn strategies, networking strategies, and they just give you a lot of personalized advice. For me, the most important thing that the career coach was able to help me do was to help me create a more cohesive narrative in my career because I had transitioned from filmmaking into marketing and then finally product design, which was not a very straight line. On top of that, they also help you with job interview prep. On top of that, they also help you with job preparations and job interview questions, which will be immensely helpful to you when you're in the job searching process. Most importantly, and last but not least, having General Assembly on your resume does have a bit of weight. So on to the downsides of doing this bootcamp. And kind of on that last note, I'm going to start with that. My personal opinion on having General Assembly on your resume is that bootcamps are like a factory. They just churn out a lot of students with the same looking portfolios, the same kind of experiences. And as the market gets flooded and saturated with the same type of talent, you're going to get more competition. And also, as there are more General Assembly grads, it's harder to quality control the kind of students that comes out of these boot camps. So I've heard product designers say, we see General Assembly on your resume, but to us it doesn't mean much because perhaps in the past they've hired General Assembly graduates that don't perform well on the job. Second thing to be careful about is the cost. It's extremely expensive. However, there are a few ways to get around that. You could pay in installments, and also there are some programs where you can sign up for that allows you to pay them back after you've got your first job. So they'll actually subsidize your whole course until your first job. Another point is that One of the most important projects you get to work on is the client project, because this shows you are using your UX design skills to solve a real client's problem. However, you basically have no control over which client you're assigned to. If you're assigned to a client that has an interesting problem to solve that will allow you to produce great work, awesome. However, if you're assigned to a client that just requires you to do a very simple website redesign, you might have more trouble trying to pitch that in your job interviews, really show the breadth of your skills. So that's quite a risky factor in this whole bootcamp. And that client project actually lasts for 3 weeks when I was taking it. So that is a factor that is uncontrollable, and I did not like that. There's a common theme that UX design bootcamp graduates don't have enough visual design skills, and I can absolutely attest to that. In our 3 months, we probably dedicated 1 week to visual design, which is extremely important in your day-to-day job. So after that, I had to really relearn a lot of principles and fundamentals in visual design, which was not the end of the world. But if you look at the portfolios of a lot of UX design grads, you'll notice that visual design is definitely lacking as a strength across the board. So guys, that's it from me. The bootcamp has provided immense value for me, and it has allowed me to change my career. However, it's definitely not some magical button that you press. An instructor told me that you get what you put into the course. Doing extra work, reading articles, networking on your own, those are all things that can really give you an edge in the long term that are out of the scope of these boot camps. If you guys are thinking of doing a boot camp with General Assembly or any of the other kind of schools out there, please feel free to shoot me a message and I'll try my best to answer your question. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching till the end. Really appreciate it. Have an amazing week ahead of you.